it's October, and you guys know what that means? Horror movies. Lots and lots of scary movies, all month long. I'm going to be trying reviewing as many as I can. James Ralph from Cinemassacre, he's also known as the Angry Video Game Nerd. For 10 years, it ended last year, but for 10 years he would review one movie every single day in October. They were all monster related or horror movie related, and he called it Monster Madness. And I thought that's such a cool idea, and it's because of that series I've been able to see and being explore so many different types of horror movies I would have never heard of or never seen before. And of course, this isn't ever this what I'm doing is never going to be as good or in depth as what he did. But I'm going to try and do as best as I can. I'm going to try and review all the horror movies I can. So let's start the month off with Dawn of the Dead, the 2006-2007 remake. This was directed by Zack Snyder and written by James Gunn, which is kind of interesting because Zack Snyder is known for his DC work right now, and James Gunn is known for his work on Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a Marvel property. So these two guys work together on one thing, which is kind of interesting. Now this is obviously a remake of Dawn of the Dead, the George Romero classic, and it's about there's a zombie outbreak, and people hide in a mall, and they don't like each other, but some like each other, and they gotta survive. That's the plot of this film. Now, obviously, as a remake of such a classic film, it doesn't live up to the classic film, and of course it doesn't. But I think the writer and the director and the creators knew that, so they decided not to try and replicate what the old movie was, but instead they tried to make something else, something new, something their own. And I think this movie does that perfectly. I think this is a perfect example of how to make an older movie for modern audiences. You can't replicate the atmosphere. You can't replicate the scares. You can't do any of that stuff. So they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just make it an action horror film. And although I don't really love those that much, as a movie where people are just killing zombies and there's just action and gore everywhere, you know what? It's pretty fun. Visually, it's pretty cool. The action scenes are pretty interesting to watch. I don't hate any of the characters, but I don't love any of them. But I kind of do want them to make it out of it. It's not that I'm bored by them in any way. There's just not a lot to go off of them. Even the bad guys in the film, although they're bad guys and they're assholes, you kind of get where they're coming from. And you're like, yeah, I'd do the same if I were in your shoes. No one acts like a total person, but you can understand that, yeah, this could happen in this situation. And I go back to the visuals because a lot of the visuals and the action in this movie are pretty entertaining. I mean, I watched the unrated director's cut, so maybe I saw some more gore and action and visuals than you would get in the theatrical version. But I looked it up, and I don't think there's that much of a difference between this one and the theatrical version. It's a little more gore and there's a little more blood, but besides that, it's a lot of director's cuts. Pretty much the same thing. A lot of Zack Snyder director cuts, you really aren't missing all that much. Zack Snyder loves his director cuts. This movie, Sucker Punch, Watchmen, Batman v Superman, they all got director's cuts, or extended cuts, or whatever you want to call them. And I think this is obviously not about the movie itself, but some of the special features on this are pretty cool too, but that's not about this. And you could tell with this movie too that they weren't trying anything big. They weren't trying to make a franchise. They weren't trying to make a new zombie phrase. They were just trying to make a fun movie that people could watch. And it's weird using the word fun to describe a zombie film because it's about zombies. It's supposed to be horrifying, but they wanted to make something new using something old. And although I think they could have made this movie without using the title of Dawn of the Dead, they probably just used that title because people know that and it grabs people's attention. I understand that Hollywood is an industry and they have to attach a title to it that people will recognize. And overall, I don't think it's that bad. Of course, it's not the original Dawn of the Dead. I don't think anything could be, but it is what it is, and I think it's pretty entertaining to watch. I think it's one of those action films where it's not dumb stupid, but you know, just turn your brain off, have some fun. It's got some good stuff in it to enjoy, and then have a good time with it. That's my first horror movie review of this month, you guys. Tell me if you've seen Dawn of the Dead, and tell me what's your favorite zombie movie, because I feel like I'm going to be reviewing probably quite a few of those, because they're zombie films. There's so many of them. But tell me what your favorite zombie film is, what you thought of this, if you've ever seen it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow with another horror movie review. And that's it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.